A lot of people may not know it, but we have there an extension of the Bible College in the Philippines.
Here's my question. Why don't many people know it?
Still left, still going great. That's where the McDonald's were before he passed away. And now that's where Reverend Cantrell, Reverend Jordan are. And there's people there. And we have a burden for them.
What exactly does having a burden for them mean? How does it manifest itself if you have a burden for someone? I mean, just in normal life, if you were to say, I have a burden for that family, I have a burden for that person, how does it translate then? What is your further action on the matter? Do you just say it and feel it? Or are there usually actions that follow that heart, that burden?
Last time I was there, I was preaching to him and I told him, don't ever let anybody say that you're any less than the students that are in Washington. You're part of us. This one school, not one there and one here. We are one. Because some people have been saying things to them, and I said, no, you're just as good as anybody else. Don't let anybody put you down.
So he's not telling the rest of the story. It almost makes it seem like maybe there's people in the Philippines who have said things to the students there. I have no idea. It doesn't matter. For this part, he's saying it's one school. It's no different. If it was one school, everybody would have heard about whatever's going on there. Or so it would seem. But to be honest, to be fair, really we don't hear much about what's going on in the school there. We don't hear if, I've heard a lot of videos, we don't hear if someone leaves to go help somewhere or to go start a church. Maybe they haven't really done a lot of that in the past several years. I did go through all of the available Facebook posts on the Philippines New Testament Christian College Facebook page and found, I think, one announcement maybe 2 years ago of an upcoming graduation, but no pictures, no anything about what happens to those people after they graduate. What do they do? Last year, of course, they didn't have anything because John McDonald passed away. He was pastoring over there. And by the way, word to whoever manages the NTCC main website, you still have on there on one page to contact him. He's the pastor. There's something on one page showing he passed away, but on another page you still have to contact him. So you might want to update that with Jordan's information. Anyway, I just noticed that. And so then I wanted to know what's on the Facebook page for the New Testament Christian Seminary. I mean, that must be just chock full of news of, one thing you won't get because now I have seen private schools, even unaccredited, that do have information about their classes. What are the classes? How much does it cost per semester? I didn't really find that here. If it's somewhere, it's hidden in a little corner somewhere in a little cubbyhole because I did not find it. That would be interesting to know. And I think anybody who's being groomed to go to the school in a serviceman's home or somewhere else, that would be good to pass that information along to them. How much does it cost? But anyway, I went back to the start of the seminary and the start of the regular NTCC Graham Facebook page. And so this is what I found. The first time that a graduation is shown is 2014. And you can see how many people are in the class there. And then you can also see how it goes down as the years go up. A very interesting thing is on the on the NTCS, the seminary Facebook page, not a whole, they didn't even show a picture there of the graduates from 2023, but they do have a poster about a cookie exchange, and they do have a poster about some kind of discount you can enjoy when you go to Six Flags on your way to conference or on your way back. So that it sends a mixed message, doesn't it? They care, but we're not going to give you any info. Like, there's a pastor, and I think I posted something here. It looks like he's asking for his transcripts. He calls himself pastor, so he must have graduated from the school in the Philippines. He mentions Devonshire, and so where is that guy? There's the one in Angeles City. There's that guy. Now, I remember being in the serviceman's home in the Philippines, and in it was either the very end of 89 or the very beginning of 1990, that 3 people from the school there, from the church, school, whatever, I can't recall if they had graduated. I'm thinking they probably did. And for those who have been around long enough, it was Bibi and Toto, which I understand that Bibi has since passed away. And this was the great knowledge she shared with us that she learned from down in Cagayan de Oro, was she expressed to us ladies who had an interest in going to Bible school how to prepare Davis's instant coffee. She was not joking. And if you know Filipinos, they joke all the time. They love to joke. They love to laugh. And she was very serious about it. And because we looked at her like, really? This was the time where he was in the Philippines. Davis was sitting in the living room. I've told this story many times because it's one of the biggest red flags that was in front of my face, and yet I ignored it because I love the Ashmores so much, and their true love and humility towards me, that I ignored it, thinking, I don't know. It's one of those things you don't think. By that point, I'd been probably fully indoctrinated, though I was very put off by him yelling in the living room there in the serviceman's home. He was sitting alone on a sofa while the rest of us were in the dining area around the table. And when the one lady came out to ask him, "Sir, would you like a piece of cake?" "I don't like cake, I like pie." And that's exactly how he said it. And he looked straight ahead. Like, I'm not even going to acknowledge you, lady, for even daring to offer me cake. Do you know who I am? And so here she was, Bibi, in the kitchen, showing us how to prepare this man of God, this servant, this minister, because that's what Jesus would do, right? Yo, guys, please tell your wives in there to prepare it the right way. Get my coffee right. I will not be happy. I will not be happy at all. And I'm going to share this image that I made a while ago, because when you can put it in the context, behavior in the context of what you say you believe. Do you believe this group of people who do not behave across the board as, doesn't matter if you can find glimpses of it here and there, that's the true nature of cults. There are those moments in there where you find niceness, where you find a givingness. Is that a word? I just made it a word. And so here she was showing us that is all I know of anyone who's come up from the Bible school. They were very sweet, they were hardworking, they were working around the home, helping to clean, helping to cook, helping the pastor and his wife at the time, which was the Blumenthals, and first Ted and Jean Keys, to get around town and to get things done. And so I don't know, all through the years, we didn't hear squat. We didn't hear anything in the school. There was never a time where Davis, in one of his classes, why not share that? Why not share the victories of what's going on in the Philippines in the Bible school there, instead of having students read some secular book about who moved my cheese and then have to do a report on it? What is that? And now Kekel coming in 2023. Oh, we have a burden for them. We care about them. We're one school. Really? Where is any information about them? Where do you share anything? Any pictures? Anything at all. Like there's been nothing at all except this statement at the end of a service in 2023. You have to ask yourself, why does this group do things like this? What are those poor people in the Philippines? What's happening there? I look in on their services regularly. I don't know how someone, I find it interesting that at least there's accommodation there at that church so that you have an English person preaching and you have someone interpreting right at the same time. The interesting thing is about the Bible school in Graham is that they do not accommodate for people who come to the school whose first language is not English. They don't do that, and they don't tell you that. They don't even have a separate website or a separate thing. There's nothing on their seminary Facebook page about that, about how they accommodate or not. Do they do it now? Because prior to 2006, they never ever did. The school is an exercise in, it's just busy work. I've said it again and again. It's, if you are really in a school, even unaccredited, people come to class, you have to be responsible to take notes in a way that you feel will help you remember the material, right? And maybe go home and read over things. Guess what? You don't have time for that because these people make you take notes, go home, and type them out. It doesn't matter if you do not have English as your first language. If you don't know what was said, and if you can't understand from your notes how to type it out, I'm not making this up. This is real people's stories. This happens. How is that fair? If you're going to say we're a church of all nations, but you don't accommodate any except those that speak English, do you? Do you have someone there that you're paying to help interpret? So here's the thing. If someone can sit in the class and at least understand what you're saying, make a few notes for themselves that they can read later on and understand, then when you give a test, you know what? There's such a thing called the internet. You can go on there and translate anything, man. Anything. You can translate a question, explain fully and in detail this, and that concept from the semester. Hopefully they've made those upgrades to the Bible school experience. If they've made those upgrades to their schooling to where you don't have to present 3 pages minimum of double-spaced notes in a clear plastic folder, just an exercise in futility, an exercise in piling up useless notes to haul around with you. Of course, by the looks of things, most people hang out in Graham. You got to pay the bills. They can't let people go. All those people in the choir, God's not calling them out to the field. He's not calling them to fulfill his mission of go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. It's all a farce. And I feel sorry for those people in the Philippines, because if they are going out and starting churches, I've not seen it anywhere. I've never heard about it the whole time I was in. I never heard about it when I was in the Philippines. And hey, I am ready to be schooled if anything I'm saying here is incorrect. I would like to know that the Bible school in Graham is accommodating people that do not have English as a second language. I would love to know that, because it bothers me that people sit there and they feel that pressure. And you know how much time is wasted trying to put together notes to be able to present and to have the right amount? What a colossal waste of someone's day, when they could actually be out, maybe talking to people, shopping, doing things with others, doing things with their family, but they can't. And there's no point to it all. There's no point to the notes at all. It should be like any other college, right? Just like Hinson said, it's just a normal school. It's just a regular college. That's all. Then why all this nonsensical stuff? It doesn't help anyone. It doesn't teach anyone anything. It keeps them busy. It keeps them busy and under pressure. And then they come into church and they hear what dogs they are. And how, well, Jesus preached hard. He wasn't all love. It wasn't all love. They need to change the front of their podium to read, God is a God of judgment. Take the God is love down. And I'll end with this. Though Davis, the founder, was absolute narcissist, cult leader, that there's less over the years. What does it mean that there's less people at the church? You know, I heard Kinson say something recently about how we're still here and it's growing and things are going good. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, back in, I don't know why I keep saying that, back at the ranch. I'm old. Back when we left to go to Virginia, that was 2005, there were 2 services on Sunday morning because there were so many people, you had to split them up. You had to split them up by last name. Now what? They turned the cameras on the whole proceedings up there. There's nobody. They're all in the choir. That's where they are. Everybody there is in the choir. So you can see this progression here. If we start in 2014, and then there's, for some reason, 15 and 16 where there are no pictures. I don't know if that means there were no graduates at all. I have no idea. And so we see that there was a gradual decline in Bible school students. Now, is that saying that Davis wasn't a cult leader and that he wasn't a narcissist of the highest order? No, it doesn't mean that at all. But he was the founder. He was the one who founded it. So there were people just loyal to him. And then what happens is, what does he do? Now we have nepotism. We have Kekel in charge. And he's in charge of everything over there. I don't care what they say about Olson. No. I'm sorry. No. It's Kekel. And to be honest, Olson isn't pastoring in the church. He's not the senior pastor. And look what happened. He's Kekel's the president of the Bible school, right? Or whatever he's calling himself these days over there. So if you're getting paid for 3 different jobs, dude, you are not doing them very well. Maybe there should be a cut in pay. it would seem like that would be in order. And so I'm just going to let you see that there is a decline. You go from 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, and last year. Why is it? And why is there no one? It's the nepotism. People know what Kekel is about. He's not nice. He's mean. He's derogatory in his remarks most of the time towards people. He's a corporate suit. He's corporate all the way. I mean, Davis is the one that taught him that. But now everyone knows Kekel. Man, he hasn't done squat. He didn't go out and start a church ever. Ever, 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 never, ever. So what does he have to say? What does he have to impart? This was just something. This was legacy. This was handed down to him. His wife is a PK kid who inherited being able to just hang out in Graham. Their whole ministry, their whole time. Why do people want to send? I mean, you're supposed to be called to go to the ministry, right? You don't. If you're called, you don't have to go to NTCC Bible School, because guess what? All you're going to be able to do is just be a licensed minister within their ranks. That's it. You have to follow rules that you won't even know about till you get there. And if you have a desire to reach a certain group of people, whether it be in another country or in our own country, look how many pockets of cultures there are all over the United States. It has to fit within their plan. Anyway, you can look at these things and surmise what you would like, but this is phony baloney, this sentiment here. Phony baloney, just like the charity thing, which was initiated seemingly in the heart of Wayne Cantrell in the Philippines there. He'd been doing it. He had been doing things already. NTCC never, ever has. This picture shows they've been there since the 60s. And yet you're hearing about it in December of 2023, anything of significance. And will you hear any more again? And why do you not know about any of the victories of new churches starting or anything like that? Sharing, I mean, they could have been sharing all this time about Angeles City. They don't. You don't hear anything. They don't share anything but cookie exchange. I just feel so incredibly sad for anyone involved in this group, really from the top down. I feel incredibly sad. And I hope, little by little, people can break free. That's what I want.